Hello, hello, hello. We are doing Radiohead because on my record rack is Queen. When Queen ends, Radiohead begins. That's how much thought I've put into this. Cast your mind back, can you, to the 22nd of February 1993 and Pablo Honey, which is the debut album from that there, Radiohead. I'll have a look at that in a minute, but we'll talk about the record first. I wasn't into Radiohead at the time. I'd seen reviews because again I was buying the music press and all that back in the day. This was at the very, I suppose it was at the very beginning of guitar music coming back again and Britpop and all that kind of thing. I think we already had Blur were around, but yeah, they came on the scene, and I'm trying to think. My first awareness of them, it would have been that song, Creep, which was released in 1992, but did nothing. But did well in America on college radio. That's as the story goes, and then they reissued it, and it did very well in the UK. And I think they were on Top of the Pops and things like that. I was like, okay, and I thought I wasn't impressed. I wasn't impressed. I also remember the release of Anyone Can Play a Guitar, and I remember that because it was either on one of the late night music shows, the video, and is Tom York in a coffin going around London or something like that, holding a guitar or something. I've probably misremembered it. It's been a long time since I've seen the video, but it amused me, and I quite liked the song. I thought it was an amusing song. But when I started getting into Radiohead around the time of, it would have been OK Computer, I got the back catalogue because that's what you do, and so that's where I came in from it. And I got the vinyl a few years back when they moved to XL recordings, and I think they were reissued on XL. So yeah, they moved off of EMI. So they went on to XL recordings, and that's where this comes from. It's not from the time. No. So I kind of, came in and went back again. Again, I was aware of them with the Benz album, but I didn't buy the Benz album. I thought the singles were interesting. I thought the videos were striking. But we'll talk about that in the next video because we're talking about Pablo Honey, which is their debut. Yeah, it's a funny old record. It's a funny old record because when you listen to it on the outside of it, it's just you just go. It's like there is nothing in here that's remarkable apart from like Creep, because that was the big. But the reason Creep works is because it does that thing of building and releasing tension, and also it subverts. It's like Beck's Loser. It subverts expectation, and the guy isn't a winner. He's a creep. He's a weirdo, and so it kind of appeals to. Who remembers emos? I don't know if we had emos back then, but it appeals to the depressive and the teenage angst of those years, and so you can identify with the song in that respect. But it has that build up of tension and that release. And again, it almost kind of chimes in with that grunge aesthetic that we were getting from America, with the Nirvana and Soundgardens and Pearl Jam and whatnots and all the ones we can't remember. You do kind of get it because again, I won't talk about it. That's the Bends. I'll talk about it in the Bends. I want to talk about it all. So yeah, Creep's really kind of the standout one, and so is Anyone Who Could Play Guitar. I like that one because there is humour in it. There is some humour in it. The rest of it's fairly kind of standard guitar orientated rock. But if you listen to it and you take your time to actually listen to the elements of the songs, you can hear Radiohead. Well, obviously you can hear Radiohead, but you can hear future Radiohead. You can hear that tone palette that we experience on the Bends and latterly on OK Computer. You can hear it. It's there. You go, oh, that's interesting. It's like they've got all the ingredients to the cake, but it came out wrong. It's like that. So it's quite a fascinating record in that respect, because, you know, when you listen when you listen to The Bends, which comes, is it how many years later? Is it 2 years later? They've got 2 years, and in that time they did quite a bit of touring and whatnot. The level of development and songwriting has improved greatly. And again, you know, I always say to you, listen to bands sequentially, you know, chronologically, because then you'll see them develop. This is a really interesting, you know, jump, because they're there, and then all of a sudden, by the next record, there's like they've gone off the graph paper. Whereas other bands, you know, we did Queen recently, you see there's more of a gentle incline upwards. This one is just like bring, you know, and that's really interesting in, you know, in what you see here. You know, it's really interesting in what you're seeing here with the band, how they suddenly just, it falls into place. But I'll talk about that more when I do the follow-up album. But yeah, it's all right. And even on reflection, even if you go back and listen to it, you go, yeah. But there's nothing memorable about it. There's nothing that jumps out about it. You know, it's just, yeah. They haven't developed hookiness. You know, again, this is what I mean about developing your craft, developing your skill. They had all the technique, they had all the ability, but it was just focused, you know, in the wrong way. And again, we'll talk about that latterly. So let's have a look at the record. What else is there on the album that's worth listening to? Yeah, again, they all kind of just fades. You know, it's pretty dull stuff. You know, there's nothing there. I mean, like I say, if you listen to it, you do hear, you know, oh, that one. I can hear Fake Plastic Trees in that one. You go, oh, I can hear, you know, just the guitar. You know, it's funny if you go through it and you listen to it in that kind of way, you can see pointers to the other songs and other records, but you wouldn't, you know, if there was no other records, you wouldn't imagine from this debut that Radiohead would have grown into the band that it is, and would have had the respect, the artistic respect that they get, because this, you just throw it and go, another guitar band, nothing remarkable here. And that's really funny. You've got to remember, there was a very active music scene at the time, lots of different bands coming, breaking through, and Radiohead, in an alternate universe, they might have just collapsed after their first album. We've never heard of them again. But that's the interesting, fascinating part of the story. So anyway, this is the sleeve. I mean, I thought the sleeve was pretty memorable in its way. And it's got an inner bag. There you go. There's the band. Whoops, wrong way around down. There they are. Look how cool they are. Look, they're so cool. Look. And here they are, proving. I don't know what Tom York's doing. I think he's dropped his handkerchief. And there's the vinyl. And I've touched it, so it's ruined. And it's thick. It's thick and black, just how you like it. Just how you like it. 12 inches of thick blackness. Try and get back in the sleeve now. Doesn't come in one of those poly bags, so you can all moan, oh, it didn't come in a poly bag. Did it get a download card? It bloody did. There's a download card. Not that I need it, because, whoops, I dropped it. Because I ripped the CDs years ago. Who remembers doing that? But there you go. Don't give you anything. It's the first 3 letters of the download card. I don't even know. Look, you get a little artwork. That's really dinky, isn't it? Look, you could put that. You could mount that on the wall. Look, I could put that there. You're not going to see it there. I could put it there. Look, like there's a little thing. No. But yeah, it's an interesting debut in the fact that it's so unremarkable. But again, listen to it again. Listen to it again, and I hate to invoke his name, but it also is an indicator of where Stephen Wilson got a lot of his dynamics from. I think he listened to this album a lot, back in the day. Again, I could be completely wrong. There's a lot of guitar music that's like this. But yeah, a completely unremarkable debut from a band that went on to be one of the biggest bands in the world. And you go, well, I didn't see that coming. And that's the only remarkable thing about the record, is who'd have thunk it? Seriously. But yeah, my simple description is they had all the ingredients, you know, but it came out wrong. They played all the right notes, but not necessarily in the right order. Only a few people know that reference. So yeah, thanks for watching. I've been talking about Radiohead's quite unremarkable debut album, Pablo Honey. It's just weird. It's weirdly unremarkable, a bit like me, really. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you haven't, I'm sure there's a therapist out there that can help you, or maybe a priest. I don't know. And we'll do this all again next time with the Bends, which is obviously the next one, which is coming next time, which might already be here if you're watching in the future when all the videos are uploaded. You might have actually watched the Bends first and come to this second, and then, you know, I don't know how that works out. Anyway, ta-da.